Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to our video series on how to build the Red Team Cyber Range Lab. In this video, we are going to create one weakness which is linked to the Kerberoast authentication protocol. This one is called Kerberoast or Kerberoasting. This was discovered and presented by a guy called Tim Medin back in 2014 at the DerbyCon. And for the sake of this lab and sticking to the plan, I am going to actually stick to just building the weakness and not going to go into the details of what Kerberoasting or Kerberoast is, because I will leave that for future videos where we would actually abuse these weaknesses within when it comes to red teaming or penetration tests. This has been an attack technique which has been used a lot, abused a lot in the past, when it comes to lateral movement and privilege escalation, because for most part accounts, service, logon accounts or domain accounts that have associated SPN, which is a service principal name, usually tends to have some sort of privilege on a network, or either on a system or somewhere on a network. So usually when we have a foothold within an environment, just even a typical unprivileged domain access, we can enumerate these service principal accounts, and then be able to request TGS and then intercept the password hashes for those service accounts and then crack them offline. But then again, like I said, more explanation will be in the future when we dig deep into how to carry out all these attack techniques. So for now, few things we need to have in place. We need to have a domain user account, which if you look here, I have one called IIS admin. It can be any username that you want. So if we look into that, it's actually going to give you just a brief comment saying it's service account for IIS, and that is a domain name, right? So once we have that, the next one is we are going to map or register an SPN to this service account. So you ask yourself what an SPN is. So from Microsoft's own definition, a service principal name is a unique identifier of a service instance. So a service instance can be MS SQL, IIS, any service instance within the domain, right? Even HTTP, that kind of thing, right? So that is a service instance, right? So the SPNs are used by Kerberoast authentication to associate that service instance with a service logon account. So in this case, the service logon account is an IIS admin account, right? So we link that to that service logon account. So now that is out of the way, it's the nicest thing is Microsoft has built-in utility to make all this possible and very easy, and it's called set SPN. So we can actually use the set SPN to enumerate any existing SPN first before we even carry out this configuration. So this is the command to make it easier for you. And if we hit enter, oops, what did I do wrong? Let me clear the screen. Set SPN, set SPN and Q. Oh yeah, that was a typo. Okay. And then this is going to give us any existing SPN within the domain. And if you look, we have this one for KERBTDT, we have WKSP, WKSON, we have the DC. We don't have one for an account, an actual logon account yet, right? So that is what we are going to create for this attack to work, right? So to make that to work, we need is, of course, the set SPN, and then -A, which is going to be adding an SPN or registering an SPN to username, and then we are going to provide the IIS, which is a username, and then / the host that we want to map this to. Now this is not necessarily a requirement. In fact, we can just do test and then specify the the domain name, and that should work. We can just type test /test and then specify the domain name, and that should still create the environment for us. But just to make things give you the full perspective on how this is actually done properly, we are going to map this to a host name. So the scenario that we want to create for this one is we are going to map this to the host name called WKS01, and we are going to make that IIS a local admin on that machine. And then in the attack path, once we have obtained a domain, foothold on a domain, we can extract the password hash for the service, which is mapped to the IIS admin account, and then crack the password for IIS admin, and then be able to get local admin on WKS01 hostname. So this is how we put it, WKS01, and then we're going to specify the domain name. In this case, it's gh.afro.local. And then we are going to specify a port number. This can be any port number you want. It can be 80, it can be 443, 8080, whatever you want. And then we'll specify the domain, service, the domain account again. And then that is how we do it. So make sure that we have everything set up, and then hit enter. And then you're going to see this if everything works out, registering the service principal name for this, and it's going to say it's been updated, right? And it's going to map, it's going to show you the full path to it actually. So now if we type this, we are going to see that we have created the SPN for this account. So yeah, good. So as I had explained a few minutes ago, so the attack path we want to create is we want to have the IIS admin as a local admin on the WKS01 host machine. So we are going to take another step and then carry out that configuration. But before that, just for you to confirm, if we log into the WKS01 machine, and then we enumerate the local admins, we will see that there is no IIS here as one of the local admins, right? All right, so we can actually add the IIS admin to the local admin group within this machine in several ways. We can do that from the domain controller, or we can even do it locally on this machine. Of course, we need to open the CMD as an admin first of all to do that. So let's bring up a new CMD session as an admin. All right, so GH administrator. Okay, so now we can just do again let net local group administrators, and then the domain, and then we are going to add IIS admin /add, and if everything goes all right, that has been completed. And let's see. Okay, so now we have the IIS is now an admin, local group admin on this machine, right? So that concludes our video session for this one. We have been able to create a weakness which we are going to use in the future to abuse it through Kerberoasting. Again, thank you guys for your time and following this video. If you like it, please share with other people, subscribe, leave a comment. If you don't like it, please leave a comment too, and let me know what I can do better. Again, thank you so much, and watch out for more videos. There's going to be interesting ones. We are going to do another configuration against delegation, which is going to be attacks against Kerberoast delegation, both constraint and unconstrained delegation attacks, right? And other attacks as well. So stay tuned, subscribe, and share with other people. Talk to you later. Bye bye.